Hi everyone, it's TTL back with another video for you. And today we're going to be taking a look at a rather unique test bench. Well, unique in my eyes anyway. And straight away, if I spin it around, I'm hoping you'll understand why I say it's unique. And that is, it does actually have a top. Now with most test benches, and it is an L-shaped acrylic top that's been bent, and then you've got some magnets down the sides to hold it into place. Now I'm just going to put this off to the side so that we can see for the rest of the case. But essentially with a test bench, the worst case about, because a lot of us like a test bench, the fact that it's open, we can see inside, and quite a lot of people do end up trying to use them at home, but dust becomes a problem, both ingressed and, you know, ending up just falling on the components as well. You end up having to clean them an awful lot. So with the top on it, it both gives us the option that we can leave it to use it on a daily basis, but then we can still pull it off to have access to everything if we want to do some testing or some playing or hardware swapping and testing. So down the sides, you do get some dust filters as well. They are very basic dust filters though. It is just a perforated mesh with some magnets on. But it does mean that it's super easy for us to be able to remove and replace. And we can also run them, depending on your configuration, which again we'll talk about in a minute, you can run them on the inside or the outside. So you've got them on the inside there, and we've got them on the outside on the other side. Now, when we look straight on to the case, what we can see is we've got about 35 to 40 millimeters of room down the side of the case itself. You can comfortably get a fan on the inside of the case for your radiator and whatnot. But the problem is especially at the top on this side, if we were to try and fit a radiator or an AIO, you can run into issues with taller memory and sometimes even your power cables and the like. But it's quite cool in that respect because there are large cutouts down on the sides, and it's on both of the sides. And what you can do is you can actually fit your AIOs and run them on the outside, and the hoses have got enough room to poke through, which I think is quite cool. The only other issue that you've got is if you were to, let's say for argument's sake, you wanted a bigger AIO in the bottom, then you do have to have one of the sides open so that you can fit it, because there is an AIO mount or a radiator mount in the bottom. You can fit a 360 or a 420 in the bottom. If you fit a 420 though, you just need to make sure that you've got the fans in, and then because the radiator itself won't bolt straight to the side, you have to have the fans in there first and then the radiator sat off like I've got here. If you want to do it the other way around, then you have to have the radiator on the outside, because there are little L-shaped folds that stop you being able to get the actual rad in. And as you can see down either side, the end tanks poke out, so that's why you need that little bit of space or it to go on the outside. If you did do your water cooling, this is really your the only main kind of hose entry and exit, but you could use, if you wanted, some of the grommets. So you've got grommets here, you've got grommets here. You could pass it up through those if you wanted. One of the things I would have said is if you wanted to go down the AIO route and you want to route the hosing up the inside, what you could do, and the only way I'm going to be able to do this is get a bit kind of aggro with it, is because you need to get the block through as well. If you cut this section out, fit your AIO, put it through, hold the hoses up out the way, then fit the motherboard, you'll have it all through then, and you could still poke it up and through that way. So there's an option for you. While we've got it over on this side though, I have the power supply mounted here, but you can see that we have an extra screw hole, so we can move it over. You can also run the power supply on the other side and have it down this way, and again you can move it over. The 2.5 inch solid state drive mount that I'll show you in a second, you can have that here or here as well, and you can also put a 3.5 inch normal mechanical drive in there as well, and it comes with all the fittings for it. So there's your 2.5 inch solid state drive mount. Another thing is there is a bit of mesh at the front, but I think that's really for aesthetic purposes. But you do get a couple of USB 3s with an internal normal USB 3 motherboard header. And I've just pulled there we go, push it back in. Power and a reset, and it's a nice clicky power and reset, and these actually light up red and blue as well. And you've also got front panel audio if you wanted to go down that route as well. When we go round to the back of the case, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, so you get an extra slot down the back if you need it, and you can mount a 120mm fan in the back as well if you wanted to, and you were going to leave it in that closed state. You do just need to think though that if you are going to leave it, you know, in the closed state with a fan in the back, the air is going to need to come in somewhere. So it's either going to come in through these dust filters, or it's going to come through the gaps that you might get in the top. You can see that you've got a metal bar across here. This is to keep this side of things quite rigid, and when you get it, you get the base, and these top parts need to be assembled. It'll only take you a few minutes. It comes with all the screws to be able to do it as well. Now the thing is like I said, I actually really like this. And I like this in the sense that it's trying to give people options. It's normal for test benches to just be open, easy access to the hardware, but I think this it's a nice grey area for those of you out there that love to tinker and overclock and change the components and stuff, but then you may during the week just want to do some normal gaming, or you know, just have a normal PC that can use without the worry about dust and all that sort of stuff. And that's why I gave it the OC3D Innovation Award, because although it's only a minor change, it's the first time I've ever seen one that I've genuinely really liked. And the fact that they sent me a white one as well did kind of help things. But it's that nice, I think it's more than likely that you're going to end up seeing me using this in videos in the future too.